What's going on, guys? My name is Amir and welcome to the channel. Some of you guys might know me, some of you guys might be new here. For those familiar faces and for those that are new, we're all gonna start at the same point. I've been creating content for about 5 years now, and some of you guys have been following me along that entire journey, and some of you are literally finding me today. And I'm excited for both of you guys because, like I just said, we're all gonna start at the same point. My goal with content and with any creator has always been to be consistent. But I haven't been able to be consistent because I've been going through finding my own identity, building my own life, and also struggling with how to tell my story. For a while, I always thought that I should just pick up exactly where I am, give you guys the scoop on what's going on in my life, and if there's a need to get to know me, then we'll work towards that. But that has created tons of chaos for me in how I create because I never really get to start at the beginning. So today, in this video, we are gonna start at the beginning. I was born July 30th, 1996 in Dallas, Texas. For about most of my life, I didn't know my biological father. And the only reason I'm sharing some personal information is because a lot of this you can watch on a reality TV show that I was on called Summer House Martha's Vineyard. I'm half African American and half Lebanese, and that is where my skin complexion and my overall features come from. My mom is Middle Eastern, and my biological dad is African American. Now, I don't even know my biological dad. Well, I know who he is, but I don't associate with him. The person who I call my father is actually the man who stepped into my life when I was in the 6th, 5th, 4th grade, and that's whose last name I currently have. Amir Jackson Lancaster. My birth name is Amir Avery Jackson, and if you know me from elementary school, Mr. Jackson is what I would go by. We actually both have the same middle and last names because my mom would not let us get rid of our last names because she believed that having Jackson was ultimately a part of our identity, and she didn't want us to lose that, regardless of who takes care of us. Struggled all throughout high school, through school. School was very tough for me. I'm almost positive I had undiagnosed ADHD. I was someone who never really excelled in anything but could do everything. I was your average CB student across the board, but super personable, but also had zero friends, zero friends. I can actually count on 2 hands how many friends I genuinely made between high school, junior high, elementary school. Once I got to high school, that's when things started to get better for me. Met one of my best friends who has been there for my entire life, up until that point, named Ryan Brooks. He was the lifeline that I never thought I needed, but we had an amazing relationship through junior high, high school, and our first year of college. I wrestled. I was a multi-sport athlete. Again, never really excelled at anything, but I was actually a really fucking good wrestler. Always wanted to play football, but I was super undersized. Growing up, I was always the smallest, shortest, and nerdiest looking individual. I quite literally looked like a real life Urkel. So I really didn't have much going for me, except my family loved me. Once I graduated high school, I followed Ryan, whose family are diehard Aggies, to College Station, Texas, where we did 1 year living at the cottages. And then I ultimately decided that College Station just wasn't for me. I was never aspiring to be an Aggie, didn't want to be an Aggie, and I hated living middle of nowhere. My mom always wanted me to go to Texas State, and I had friends at Texas State, went, visited, and it was kind of a really cool experience. I was really excited about the school. It had a river running through it. It's a very lively town, and it was also a straight shot down I-35 from Dallas to San Marcos. So I was like, cool, it's an easy drive that I can make anytime. College is where I really started to step out of my shell. I started meeting a lot of friends, playing volleyball, rugby, track, tried out for the football team, made the football team, then didn't make the football team, which was an interesting story. I really started to find my identity in college. I started to put on muscle. I went from being a scrawny, nerdy kid who was kind of adorable to starting to become a man. And I was excited about that. Texas State, I tried to be a socialite. I wanted to change the identity that I always had, which was what I just told you guys. and rebrand. So I wanted to be the cool guy. I wanted to be the guy that everyone knew, and I wanted to be someone who succeeded in everything. You could say that I had ambitious goals. You could also say that I had trauma. I ended up accomplishing everything that I wanted to. I made friends, I dated, I got a good job coming out of college, graduated with the degree that I wanted to graduate with, and I thought that my life was just about to just peak. And then I stepped into the real world. Leaving college was probably one of the hardest things that no one tells you you will go through. Leaving school is probably one of the hardest things that no one tells you you will go through. You have friends, you have community, you have a shared interest. When you become an adult, the only shared interest you have is making sure that you can put food on your tables and keep your lights on. Other than that, your hobbies can sometimes be a distraction. Your interests can sometimes implode your relationships, all of these different things. So when I graduated, I just knew I wanted to be successful. I didn't care what it took, so I got into corporate sales. I moved myself to Houston because I had two journeys to take. It's either stay in Austin, where everyone else from San Marcos goes to, or go to Dallas, Texas, where I'm from. And I didn't want to do either of those. I'm very much a person who hates following trends. Not trends. I just hate following the crowd. Like I like to be different. I like to do different things. So I didn't either. I actually moved to Houston, where my mother told me I would know no one. I would hate it. And I wanted to prove her wrong. I got there. And 6 months into this job that I thought was so great, I realized that after rent, gas, and bills, I had like $100 to my name. I was racking up credit card debt. I left. I paid $6,000 of money that I didn't have, slapped it on a credit card, and left, broke my lease. Moved back to San Marcos, lived with my friends in a shared house that we all just split up evenly, and got to work trying to figure out how to, one, pay off this credit card debt, and two, what the fuck am I gonna accomplish in my life? Going back to San Marcos was probably the best thing that I could have done for myself, because ultimately it put me in a position where I had to be scrappy. I had bills to pay. I had a credit card that I never had before that all of a sudden I had. And now that I'm graduated, I had student loans, and they were ready for me to start paying on those. I kept going down the rabbit hole of trying to find a sales career that would work for me, but ultimately every day I showed up, I was miserable. I was successful, but I was miserable. And the reason for that was there just wasn't enough stimulus for me in those sales roles. I would get really good at setting appointments, closing deals, and being a personable individual, but outside of that, there wasn't anything more to it. So every year I basically changed jobs, looking for the next. I ultimately found a job as a sales engineer, which drove me around the state of Texas and Louisiana, because that was my sales territory. And just when I thought that I had found my place, I was like, man, this job is really cool. It's really dynamic, but it's not going to be conducive to me like building a life. I spent 4 days of the 5 days of the work week on the road. And that's not practical for anyone. Like, you can't do that. So I told them I wanted my territory smaller, or I was going to figure out something else. Ultimately, we both decided that I needed to figure out something else. And at the same time, I was pursuing a career in acting and modeling. I was doing photo shoots with friends on the side to kind of build a portfolio. Everyone told me that I had a really unique look. And I was like, I don't know what that means, but cool, I'll stand in front of your camera and smile. And that ended up transpiring into me getting signed by 3 different agencies and doing nothing with those agencies. They really wanted me to go into TV, film. And if you know me, and as you guys get to know me, you will realize that memorizing things isn't my best skill. I can do things improv, but having a script, you can't really count on me. And so they quickly realized that I would be better suited for the commercial industry, where ads like American Airlines and Orange Theory didn't really need me to read a script. They just needed me to smile and do an activity. And so for about really successful doing that. But at the same time, I needed more than what the modeling industry was, or modeling and acting industry was providing. So the next best thing for me was to get my real estate license. Okay, if you've made it this far in the video, you're doing great. We're almost there to the point where you're gonna understand who I am today, but in order to do that, you gotta know who the kid was. Thank you for watching this far. If you haven't already, make sure you like this video, subscribe to this video, leave a comment of what you wanna know or what you wanna see. During my career as a model and actor, I needed more income. The only thing off of my head that was gonna give me enough flexibility to be able to make it to these gigs, whether they were in Dallas, Houston, LA, New York, or whatever, was a real estate license. My mom knew I was personable. She knew that I had a great work ethic, and she was like, I think you'd make a really great real estate agent. And you know, I should start listening to my mom more. Mom, if you're watching this, don't let that get to you, because I'm still not gonna listen to you. I got my real estate license after about 6 months of classes and studying. And my first year, I did one deal. It was a mobile home in, where was it? I can't even remember. I do remember it was a Redfin lead that I got, and that was what I lived off of, was modeling gigs and that one real estate deal. So I started creating content because I was like, you guys don't understand how strapped I am for this cash. I need money. I started making videos about my dating life, about making it in real estate, which is a vlog series that I've created, about my day-to-day hustle of being a young real estate entrepreneur trying to make it in Austin, Texas. And I quickly started to take off on socials. Never really planned to. Really, I just needed a creative outlet because I was miserable. Working is soul-sucking, especially if you're not doing something that you like to do. So content creation was my release. I was doing skits. I was doing voiceovers. I was doing my vlogs. I was just doing about anything that I thought was entertaining to myself and posting it and saying, who gives a fuck what other people think? Apparently, people think I'm great, which I have mixed emotions about. After all of that, after all the recognition, I was in the industry for about 3 years, and I started to really actually I was only in the industry for about 2 years, and I started to find my groove. I ended up going on a reality TV show called Summer House Martha's Vineyard. We did 2 seasons on Bravo, where after our first season of shooting and coming back from the vineyard, I met my now fiance and soon-to-be wife at a gym called Collective. Now I'm in the process of just trying to figure out what this next journey of my life looks like. For a while, I was single. I was trying to be successful, and I was just trying to make it. And now I am engaged, still trying to be successful and still trying to make it. But we have a beautiful kitchen. We have a beautiful home. We have beautiful dogs. We have beautiful friends, beautiful family. We have all of these things surrounding us that I am very thankful for. And the only thing that I want to do is continue to grow, continue to give back, and practice being thankful. Right now, that is who I am. I'm someone that is relatable in every single way, regardless of the success or failures that I've had. I've turned every loss into a lesson, and I'm continuing to try and figure out how can I climb the ladder of success here in America, but not do it by standing on the necks and heads of those around me. Because I think that is a lot of what happens to people that find success on social media, find success in the real estate industry, or find success as entrepreneurs, is they tend to forget who they are, why they do what they do, and who they do what they do for. So I'm really excited for this new content series. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. This is an opportunity for me to document my journey, see the progression and growth that I'm going through. And I truly hope that you guys stick along for this journey. In my next video, I'll be dropping, I have a Pilates event that I'm hosting. My first ever event. It's gonna be all guys, and I'm really excited for it. It's called Bro Lattes. We're doing it with FS8. And so that will be my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'm happy that you guys get to know a little bit about me. I would love to get to know some of you guys. If you could, leave a comment. Tell me what your childhood was like. What are you struggling with now as an adult? Who do you want to be when you grow up? I promise you guys, I will read, respond to every single comment, and make sure you're liking and subscribing and turn on the notifications so that way you never miss a video. I'll see you guys on the next one.